Most people will spend their entire lives inside the architecture of someone else's game and never once realize they were a piece, not a player, a piece. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to teach kings how to rule. He wrote it as a warning, an autopsy of power performed on the still-living body of the men who wielded it. 500 years later, nobody listened. Here are the 7 signs. Sign 1. They calibrate their cruelty. Machiavelli identified it in Chapter 8. He wrote that cruelty is well used when it is short-lived, decisive, no more than necessary to secure your position, and then stopped. The evil person does not rage. They calculate. Cruelty is a budget. They spend exactly what is needed, then show you a different face the next morning. Think of Light Yagami in Death Note. The horror is not the killing, it is the precision, the way he weeps at his father's funeral and means the grief, while simultaneously engineering the outcome that caused it. Emotion and strategy running as 2 separate programs in the same machine. That is the profile. In your own life, this sign looks quieter. The cruelty arrives at specific moments, when there are no witnesses, when you are already exhausted, when you just got good news and they need to level the room. The timing is never random, it is surgical. And once the damage lands, they go still, calm, almost peaceful, because the cruelty was never emotion, it was maintenance. Sign 2. Their version of the past never has them in it as the problem. Machiavelli wrote in Chapter 18 that everyone sees what you seem to be. Few have experience of who you really are. The evil person has mastered the inversion of personal history. Ask them about their worst relationship. Every ex was unstable. Every former friend disloyal. Every job they left, they were wronged. This is not bad luck. It is a story they curate. They are never the variable that explains the damage. The Roman Emperor Heliogabalus reigned from 218 to 222 AD and was famous for confessing his strange tastes openly at court, laughing at his own excesses in front of his courtiers. They relaxed. They stopped watching. The confessions covered crimes far darker than the ones he advertised. The pattern is the autobiography that explains everything except the one category of damage you keep finding. They are never wrong in the retelling, ever. Sign 3. They make your conscience do their work for them. The evil person discovers early that your guilt is a door they can walk through without a key. They do not threaten you. They confess to you a small, forgivable sin wrapped in vulnerability, trust issues, control problems, a hard past. You soften. You lower your guard because you think a person capable of self-awareness cannot be fully dangerous. That was not a confession. It was inoculation. The small sin they advertised covers the large one they are actively running. When you catch the real behavior, your brain files it under the thing they already told you about. Preempted, neutralized. Watch for what they never confess. The basement they never show you. They control the spotlight and aim it at the one room that is already clean, not because it is clean, so you never ask about what is below. Sign 4. They force allegiance before you have enough information. Chapter 21 of The Prince. A prince is respected when he is either a true friend or a downright enemy. Neutrality, Machiavelli wrote, cannot be trusted. The evil person applies this principle to every relationship they enter. Early on, before you can see clearly, they create a situation that requires your allegiance, a conflict you don't fully understand, a mutual friend they want you to cut off, a story where your silence reads as betrayal. If you comply, you are now implicated. You did something real on their behalf. Your brain, trying to remain consistent with its own past behavior, rationalizes the next step and the step after that. By the time you realize you have slowly become someone you would not recognize. 2 years ago, you have already distanced from the people who would have told you. That was the point. Not to verify your loyalty, to eliminate your witnesses. Sign 5. They never fight. They make you fight yourself. Watch Walter White in Breaking Bad. The man's genius was not chemistry, it was framing. He made everyone around him feel responsible for the position he created. Skyler chose to enable, Jesse chose to stay. Walt just responded to circumstances. Nobody watching could fully name why they felt suffocated by him. That is the architecture. Machiavelli wrote that people are so gullible and so caught up with immediate concerns that a con man will always find someone ready to be conned. He was not being cynical about weakness. He was identifying a structural feature of human trust. The evil person exploits not your stupidity, but your good faith. They use your own decency as the blade. They are disappointed rather than angry, hurt rather than hostile. They forgive you for things you did not do wrong, which installs a debt you can feel but cannot name. You find yourself apologizing in arguments you started because they were wrong. Sign 6. The warmth comes in unpredictable intervals, and you are addicted to the intervals. This is why people do not leave. The warmth is real. It arrives genuine and hits like oxygen after 3 days without air. Your nervous system does not distinguish between love and relief from the absence of love. Machiavelli wrote that favors should be given out slowly, one by one, so they can be properly savored. He meant it as political strategy. The evil person discovers it by instinct. The warmth is rationed, not because they calculate each beat, but because their interest in you fluctuates, and you have been trained to chase the peaks. The mechanics are identical to a slot machine. You endure any number of bad pulls chasing the next good one, and when they leave, the craving does not stop. You spend months waiting for approval from someone who is no longer in the room. They have installed themselves in your neurology. The exit is not one decision. It is a decision you make every day until the circuitry rewires itself. Sign 7. You are the evil one. Everything above was preparation for this: the cruelty calibration, the curated history, the preemptive confession, the forced allegiance, the conscience manipulation, the addictive warmth, all of it building toward one moment. The inversion: when you confront them, they are wounded first. When you ask for something, you are selfish. When you remember clearly what happened, you are stuck in the past. When you leave, you are cruel for abandoning them. Every human response you have, every entirely reasonable reaction to what they have done, is reframed in real time as evidence of your failure. Machiavelli observed this in the courts of Romagna. The prince who caused the most suffering was always the one delivering the most eloquent speeches about justice. He was not performing. He had genuinely rewritten the sequence of events into a version where his cruelty was always response and never origin. The evil person does not experience themselves as evil. They experience themselves as perpetually responding to a world that keeps failing them, and their sincerity is the weapon. You cannot win the argument. You will not get the confession. You will not get the outside confirmation the world needs before it believes you. They operate just below the threshold of public evidence. Private, intermittent, deniable. You are the only witness. That was always the role they assigned you. Machiavelli closed The Prince with a warning about timing. He wrote that a wise man must never wait for the storm to reveal itself fully, because by then it is too late to prepare. The 7 signs are not the storm. They are the weather before it. You have been taught to wait for lightning so undeniable that everyone around you agrees. That moment will not come. The truly dangerous person is too disciplined to let it. The day you decide to trust what you already know, without their agreement, without one more chance given for one more reason, is the day they lose access to you, not through a door, through your own restored perception of what actually happened. That is the exit. It has always been the exit. Thank you for watching. If you want to go deeper into wisdom, YouTube and the mainstream keep hiding it. Join my Patreon and my free newsletter. I'll see you in the next one.